Well, everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Season 1 of Ahsoka. And this is the Star Wars series from Dave Filoni, who created this series as a follow-up to his Rebels show, as this balances the story of Ahsoka Tano, who is now a middle-aged character in her journey and desperately trying to stop the return of Grand Admiral Thrawn, who had disappeared years ago in the final episode of Rebels, along with Ezra Bridger, one of the members of the Rebels crew. And Rosario Dawson portrays Ahsoka Tano again after popping up in The Mandalorian, and her journey with Huyang, her droid played by David Tennant, who has this long history of working at the Jedi Temple. They bring back in Natasha Liu Bordizzo's Sabine Wren, who she had been training with Ahsoka ever since the end of Rebels. They had a falling out, and they're trying to rekindle things. You have Hera Syndulla, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, along with a crew of some baddies, played by Ray Stevenson, who plays Baylan Skull, and Ivana Sakno, who plays Shin Hati, his apprentice. They're former Jedi. Baylan's a former Jedi who now have went out on their own as mercenaries as they work with Diana Lee Inosanto, who plays Morgan Elsbeth, who we saw Ahsoka clash with back in The Mandalorian, and all trying to find Ezra and Thrawn. And this, I think, is one of the best Disney Star Wars projects we've gotten yet. This honestly might be my favorite. The first couple episodes do a really good job of setup and getting us to a point where it's like you're bringing these characters back, bringing in enough to connect back to Rebels and to get this story started. And once they go out into space on this journey trying to find Thrawn and Ezra, this really kicks into gear. I think some of the highlights, the performances, like Rosario Dawson goes on such a great journey in this. Ahsoka's in a darker place at the beginning of this, and what arguably is the best episode, where she goes on this journey with called Shadow Warrior, that episode where she connects with one particular important character from her past in interesting ways. It's definitely going to be pleasing fans and everything of what brings back in terms of like a pretty big name coming back for this. And Ahsoka goes on such an interesting journey of realizing what's really most important. I think David Tennant might be his Huyang might be my favorite droid. He's sassy, he's very direct in terms of his opinions, and has this great breadth of knowledge. Bordizzo, who plays Sabine Wren, I really like her. I think she has a lot of charisma. You could definitely tell Mary Louise Winstead is having a lot of fun as Hera. But Ray Stevenson is one of the biggest highlights here in terms of the depth that he brings as antagonist of Baylan, and where this character is going to go, unfortunately, with a different actor since he passed away. But we also get Lars Mikkelsen, who voiced Thrawn in Rebels, coming back as Thrawn here. And when he finally shows up, he's so good. He just feels like Thrawn, and he feels like such a different villain playing a different kind of game. And when we eventually see Ezra, played by Iman Esfandi, so good, and just really brings a lot of character to personality to this character. The action, I really love the lightsaber battles. You have a lot of characters here who are not like fully trained in the art of lightsaber battles, so they're rough. They're not the best. They struggle. And then you have Ahsoka with her samurai approach, which is so cool, and such an interesting, unique, different perspective to bring to the table. Baylan is based off of like a medieval knight, and you can see like just the way that he's holding his lightsaber like a broadsword and stuff like that. It really works. And I feel like this really sets up some big, interesting ideas. Obviously, this is building up to what's probably going to be Heir to the Empire, that big film that Dave Filoni's supposedly going to do that brings all of these shows together. And it's one of those kinds of things where Dave Filoni knows Star Wars. He's able to capture the things that really feel like Star Wars. He's able to do things that are a little different, and he brings new layers and dimensions to it. I just appreciate like this simple story of trying to, at all costs, find Thrawn and Ezra, depending on which side that you're on, and trying to, stop the return of this dangerous tactician who is ready to bring back the Galactic Empire. And this whole cast delivers. It has great moments, some great episodes, and it really captures the spirit of Star Wars in really meaningful and impactful ways. I just loved every minute of this show from start to finish, and especially some of those peak episodes towards the middle and up to the end just really nail it. And that one particular episode, episode 5, is one of the best episodes of Star Wars television you're going to find. And it just brings so many great feelings back. But when it comes down to it, yeah, this is a Rebels sequel. But really at the core, it's Ahsoka and the journey that she's going on. And I really loved the journey. And I can't wait to join and experience more of it in potentially a second season, or wherever this story goes. But those are my thoughts on Season 1 of Ahsoka. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.